Hello, my name's Dr. Alex Lai, and I'm a GP with a specialist interest in mental health and workplace well-being. So to that end, I have several roles. I co-founded an organisation called the Workwell Doctors, and we work to empower NHS staff to help improve the health and well-being of themselves and the team, and look at the systems and organisations and what can be done to improve it so that we retain and maintain a good and healthy work-life balance. I'm also a trained coach for Health Education England, and I work to support doctors returning to training. And to that end, I've also worked with a lot of individuals within medicine and outside of medicine to help them with some of the common difficulties and challenges that they're facing with their career and also in life. So today I want to talk to you a bit about coaching. It's a really useful tool, especially in medicine, where we can use it to help work out what we want to do next, or if we're facing a certain challenge with our work or with our team or our colleagues. And the reason why coaching is so special is because it's actually dedicated time that we don't often take for ourselves, with someone who can guide you to work out your own solutions, rather than having too often someone else telling you what you should be doing or advising you that may come from a good place but isn't actually the sort of help you need. And so often with coaching, it really is sort of such a gift to be able to have that time to sit and reflect, and gives you the autonomy to come up with your own solutions to how you might tackle whatever problem it is you're facing and move forwards. So today I want to talk to you about a simple tool that I often use in my workshops to help you really pin down or highlight any issues that you might be facing in your life, and then some simple coaching questions that will help you hopefully make some progress in thinking about how you might want to move forwards with those, some of the options you might have, and then where you can start and how you can build on those. So all you need for this is a pen and a piece of paper, and I'm going to give you some time because I think you'll get the most benefit out of this if you do it along with me. And on that piece of blank paper, just draw a nice big circle like this, and then divide it in half, and then into quarters, and then in those quarters divide each of those quarters into eighths, so you have a nice little wheel. This is often called the wheel of life. Now if we imagine that the center of the wheel is 0 and then the outer ring is 10, I'm going to give a name or a title for each of these sectors. And so if you start with the 1 o'clock, 1 to 2 sort of sector, if you write down personal development, the next sector, mental health, and then we've got nutrition, exercise, family, fun or recreation, finances, and career. Now the great thing about this tool is you can put whatever you want into this tool, and then it should look like here's one I made earlier. And so there's this gradient from 0 to 10. Now I'm going to ask you to go round and in each sector mark how you would rate on a scale of 0 to 10 each of those sections. So for example, I feel at the moment, because I'm doing some courses, my personal development is probably on a 8 out of 10. Again, go round your mental health, your nutrition, and so on and so forth. And if we marked just approximately, or you could always do a fraction and just write it outside. And then what people tend to do, just to help visualize this, is to connect those dots so that you've almost got a wheel, which helps to show you how you are on that scale. Now I want you to go back round the circle and just think about, what would you like each of those sectors to be? So again, what would you like your personal development to be? your mental health, your nutrition, your exercise, family, fun and recreation, creativity, things like that often get lost in our journey through medicine. Your finances, how on top of those are you with things like pensions and life insurance, or just earning enough to sustain the life that you want. And then career, the main one that we often focus on, and hopefully why you're here today with Mylocum Group, in terms of exploring that and how happy you are with any transitions you're facing or career development. Now, some people can put 10 out of 10 for all of those, or it's up to you. You might be more realistic. And what I want you to do now is pick one of those sectors. So what most people do is they pick a sector that has the biggest attainment gap, but it's entirely up to you which one of those you would like to focus on right now. So hopefully you've chosen, and I'm going to ask you a set of simple coaching questions that will help you to explore that sector. And the whole point of this is that actually you do it with me on the video, because you're going to get the most out of it. We know from research that actually externalizing those thoughts, writing it down, being able to visualize things can be really beneficial to actually following through with whatever goals you set out of this exercise. So taking whatever it may be, for example, your mental health, which is obviously a struggle for a lot of NHS workers right now. And also I know there's been a lot of videos around mental health and burnout. I'm going to ask you, first question, what could you do to fill the gap? You may want to pause the video if you need more time to answer any of these questions, but it's really key that you either say those out loud, or ideally you write it down so that you've got something that you can see and hold yourself to account. After you've answered that question, I'm going to ask you, what else can you do? Push yourself to think of as many options as possible. Question 2. What resources do you have available to help you? Question 3. Which people can support you with this commitment? Question 4. What barriers might you face when you're trying to fill this gap? Question 5. What assumptions am I making about those barriers? And this is a really key question, because often we think that, or we come up with mental blocks that try and stop us from achieving what we want to achieve. And so what assumptions are you making there? Question 6. So if that assumption was wrong, what else could you believe? Question 7. So how might you overcome these barriers? Question 8. What has worked well for you in the past? So think about those times where you faced a similar challenge, and what strengths and skills did you use there? Question 9. What small step can you start with? Question 10. When will you start? Because too often we make plans and we have ideas, but actually it's about, when are you going to say, right, tomorrow or right now, I'm going to do this. I'm going to book that in with a friend, or I'm going to ask for that, or refer myself to NHS Practitioner Health, or speak to my supervisor, or speak to that friend. Number 11. So who or what can hold you to account? Do you need to set some alarms? Do you need to tell a friend? Do you need a friend to come with you? And then lastly, how will I know when I've achieved this? Because we know that the way that our brains work, sometimes it's useful to actually have and make it a SMART goal so that we know that we have achieved this, because it helps improve our well-being, gives us that dopamine hit. So hopefully now you've completed that. Obviously I've gone through that quite quickly, so feel free to pause. And you can use these open questions and coaching questions for really any problem that you might be facing. Try and apply it with this Wheel of Life, share it with friends. I hope you found that useful. It's just one exercise of many that we use in coaching. But hopefully I'm offering an hour of free coaching to a lucky winner through my Mylocum Group and today's Health Summit. And you can always contact me to reach out for coaching through Instagram at Dr. Alex Lai, spelled L-A-I. If you're interested in knowing more about the Workwell Doctors, we're at the Workwell Doctors on Instagram and www.theworkwelldoctors.com, where I also have a lot of resources that we've collated around supporting NHS staff and the services available. And I want to give a shout out as well to UOKDoc, who are a charity that support NHS staff and who I'm an ambassador for. And you can also find their details on our website there. So that's a bit of a whistle-stop tour, but I hope that's really helpful. Please do reach out if you have any questions, and good luck with everything. Take care.
Today, I'm here to talk to you about the main challenges in general practice nursing. Learning a new skill, especially for a newly qualified nurse, can be very, very challenging, especially when you have short staff in primary care. Some practices are willing to take on new nurses now who have never had experience in general practice.